Gaffer, 3-0 defeat this afternoon against Newport County. Disappointing result. How do you sum up the performance today?
Yeah, disappointing result and a poor one for us. We looked at this game as a really good opportunity. Newport were bottom of the league and of bouncing back. And no disrespect to them, but they are where they are for a reason. And we wanted the 3 points from the game, but mad moments again. Conceding two second half goals out of nowhere. No concerted pressure again has summed up the performances of the last two and a half games, where just mad moments have cost us.
Do you feel that's the downfall today? The sort of individual mistakes, if you like, that have cost us, rather than it maybe being a sort of lack of confidence in the side? Do you think it is those
I think
errors?
because of recent results, there's a little bit more tension in there. There were opportunities first half, weren't there? Where we played some decent stuff, but we lacked the cutting edge in the final third. And I've been quite critical of the group of defenders in recent weeks. We have kept some good clean sheets this year, but of recent weeks we've struggled to keep it tight at the back. And out of nowhere we've had really poor moments. Obviously, then after the Fleetwood game, of playing so well and losing, it has an effect and can undermine confidence. And we haven't reached the same levels in the final third of cutting people open, but we've still had those mistakes happen. And this is what can happen when out of nowhere, you gift wrapped chances and opportunities to score.
So going in at half-time off, it was 1-0. What was the message to the team, at that point? The game was very much there still for the taking, even though we were behind. Obviously, we then conceded 2 goals so quickly. But what was the message? Do you think at this point, we've still got a great chance?
Yeah, absolutely. It was totally positive. It was about, right, let's go back out there and, firstly, to the centre halves, you have to be honest, I said, keep us safe, make sure we're safe. It stays at 1. That's the primary role as defenders. And then, I have to expect more from the front players, because there were some nearly moments, like I say, but nearly's not good enough. We have to have that cutting edge. It's Newport. Go and express yourself. Go and enjoy it. But it might be that we have to persevere. And it's that time of the season. The wind's blowing. It's not going to be always played in our terms. We've got a great pitch to play on. I'm encouraging them to pass it, but be more progressive with it. And in the final third, get more balls into the box. And it becomes a bit timid and a little bit afraid to make a mistake. So we go sideways, backwards, and it can be a bit boring, to be honest. If we're not really committing to entertaining and getting the balls in the box and shots off. The tempo slowed and the game's over though. When you're 3-0 down after 52 minutes, and think where's that come from? Again, 3 games on the bounce. And obviously confidence is affected then, because they know it's an uphill, massive mountain to climb.
You mentioned the sort of lack of cutting edge in attack there. I think even the first half, when the game was at 0-0 and 1-0, it sort of felt maybe a lack of urgency in the side. From an attacking perspective, what do you put that down to maybe today?
That could be misconstrued for the confidence levels. I wouldn't suggest if you could give me individuals, that could challenge me. Where you think he lacked a bit of urgency. I think if you look across the line of the back line, they're all honest lads. Jacob Slater's on loan, Republic of Ireland under 21 international, and I'm not saying he played the perfect game, but he approached it in the perfect manner. With his attitude. You got Bobby at the back, you got Bradders. They want to win. There may have been mistakes in there, but I don't think there's a lack of urgency. Duke, he kept going. He was keen to persevere. Reece wasn't his day, but I wouldn't say it's a lack of urgency from him. Jack Muldoon, 36, graphs every game for us. So I think you probably said the wrong word there. I think it's I think a little bit of confidence has taken a hit, and we all need to, as a group, do better.
Okay, I think maybe there's almost a sense perhaps then of trying a little bit too hard. This comes back to that confidence thing maybe. Instead of keeping it simple, we've seen some of the recent weeks, how attacking we've been. Perhaps overthinking a little bit, trying too hard, and that's caused a little bit of a block in terms of that sort of attacking play that we've seen.
Yeah, I think you're probably right, and that's great. I think we can overcomplicate it. We try and keep it as simple as possible, but we've can't spoon feed every move in the game, and you move off their players, what they do, what our players do, where the ball is, you move in relation to, and sometimes we're trying hard, so it maybe looks a little bit expansive, and when we don't shift the ball quick enough and being a bit cagey, then we don't get that switch on quickly enough to then get Juki on it higher up and enough space to go and hurt. So it went a bit cagey, and we got a bit tunnel vision and went one direction, stayed that direction. We have to coax them out of it, and it perhaps is now having a building block, and being a little bit more nutritional for a couple of weeks, harder to beat, and build up the confidence levels again, because at this level it can soon slip, and I've been there before. We've got to keep encouraging, but at the same time say the cliche now is non-negotiables. Keep the ball out the back of the net first and foremost as defenders.
So finally, sort of looking ahead to next week, got a FA Cup game coming up. You talked about the building blocks there. Is the next week as a management coaching team and the players almost getting back to basics a little bit, sort of start again and actually think, right, okay, let's go from here. Big game ahead. Let's look and see how we can sort of restart things.
Yeah, we've been around the block a bit now, so we'll still wake up really hurt tomorrow. The one thing I have said is I don't want anyone's lip on the floor on Monday. You all come in. We shake hands, look at each other in the eyes, and we're all hurting. But at the same time, no one's, anyone else's team. We're on Harrogate Town colours. It's one team. It's one in all in. It's easy to grab negative momentum these days and sensationalise it. We've lost 4 on the bounce. We've done that before. We get over it, and we recover. Crikey, 701 league games now I've had. There's peaks and troughs. Certainly is at Harrogate Town. Certainly is. Now we've got up to this level where we're right down there in terms of into probably what outside of this football club's expectations are, and size of club and fan base, and we know what's against us. But this is by no means anywhere near my biggest challenge. We'll pick them up, we'll grit it out, we'll go again. We've got some good lads. We've got to make sure they play to their strengths, and we will dig in. That's for sure.
Thanks, Gaffer. Appreciate the time. Thank you.